SWE210F excavator. Operation and maintenance manual. Lubrication of lubricating points. Preparations before maintenance. Park the machine on firm, level ground. Lower the bucket to the ground. Turn off the automatic idle function. Run the engine at low idle speed with no load for about 5 minutes. Turn the start-stop knob to the OFF position to shut down the engine. Move the pilot control shutoff lever to the locked position. Hang a do not operate warning tag on the machine. Proper use of fuel and lubricants. Always use the recommended zero-hash fuel and lubricants. Failure to do so will cause damage to the excavator and will void the product warranty from Sunward. Post-inspection and maintenance checks. Failure to perform checks after an inspection or maintenance may lead to unexpected failures, resulting in serious injury or damage. Be sure to perform checks according to the following procedures. Checks after inspection and maintenance with engine off. Checks during engine operation. Maintenance of electrical system. Moisture in electrical equipment or damaged insulation on electrical wires is extremely dangerous, which can cause electrical leakage and lead to machine malfunction. SWE210F excavator. Operation and maintenance manual. Routine maintenance of hydraulic system. The hydraulic system is at a high temperature during and after operation. It is also under high pressure during operation. Therefore, special attention should be paid to the following when inspecting and maintaining the hydraulic system. Park the machine on firm, level ground and lower the bucket to the ground. Shut down the engine and release the pressure in the hydraulic pipelines. Immediately after an operation is completed, the pressure and temperature of the hydraulic oil and lubricating oil will be high. Therefore, it is necessary to wait for the temperature to drop before maintenance. Immediately after an operation is completed, the pressure and temperature of the hydraulic oil and lubricating oil will be high. Therefore, it is necessary to wait for the temperature to drop before maintenance. When inspecting or maintaining the hydraulic circuit, be sure to bleed the air to release the internal pressure. Inspection or maintenance includes checking the hydraulic oil level, cleaning or replacing the filter element, and adding hydraulic oil as needed based on the oil level. When removing a high-pressure hose, check if the O-ring is damaged. If damaged, replace it. SWE210F excavator. Operation and maintenance manual. Lubrication of lubricating points. Tools required. Grease gun. Wrench. Lubricating grease. It is recommended to use Sunward Specialized Ultra Pressure Lithium Base Grease No. 2 with extremely high load-bearing capacity. Rag. Note: abnormal noises from the lubricated parts indicate that the pin rolls submerged in water will be lubricated after operation. Applying grease to the working devices. Boom cylinder base. Bushing at boom base. Small chamber of boom cylinder. Large chamber of stick cylinder. Stick cylinder piston rod end. Boom stick connecting pin roll. Bucket cylinder base pin. Stick rocker stick connecting pin. Stick bucket connecting pin. Connecting rod, connecting pin, bucket cylinder piston rod end, bucket connecting rod connecting pin. Open the plastic cover of the lubrication point. Screw on the grease gun. Then close the plastic cover of the lubrication point to complete lubrication of this part. Parts requiring grease filling every 8 hours. Parts requiring grease filling every 500 hours, if necessary. SWE210F excavator. Operation and maintenance manual. Checking and replacing engine oil. Warning: do not replace engine lubricant in environments with sand and dust. During the replacement process, be cautious of the potential harm caused by oil splash to the human body. Take proper precautions to prevent oil, fire, and corrosion. After shutting down the engine, components and oil are still at high temperatures, which can cause severe burns. Wait for the temperature to drop before starting any work. Open the engine hood. Pull out the oil dipstick and wipe the oil from the dipstick with a clean cloth. Fully reinsert the dipstick, then pull it out again to check the oil level. Ensure the oil level is between the maximum and minimum marks. If it is not, add or drain oil as needed. Note: check the oil level 10 minutes after shutting down the engine. Checking it immediately after shutdown will lead to an incorrect reading. Checking engine oil. Materials required: socket wrench, engine oil drain hose, oil barrel. Start the engine to warm up the oil, but do not overheat it. Lower the bucket to the ground. Park the machine on level ground. Disable the auto idle switch and let the engine run at low idle without load for 5 minutes. Important: improperly shutting down the engine may cause damage to the turbocharger. Turn the one-touch start switch counterclockwise to the off position, causing the engine start switch light to turn red, and push the pilot safety lever to lock position. Remove the bottom cover plate beneath the engine and position an oil barrel under the engine oil pan drain valve. Attach the oil drain tool to the engine oil pan and proceed to drain the engine oil. Notice: the engine oil can be hot. Please be careful to avoid burns. After completely draining the oil, unscrew and remove the oil drain tool. Replacing engine oil. Fill with oil through oil fill cap and check oil fill volume until specific scale position on dipstick is reached. Cap oil filling port. Start engine. Run it unloaded at low speed for 5 minutes. Check engine oil pressure indicator red on monitor to make sure it goes off. If it's still on, stop the engine immediately and identify the cause. Check drain valve for any leakage. Check dipstick for oil level. Replacing engine oil filter. Materials required: engine oil filter element, filter element wrench. The engine oil filter is positioned on the main pump chamber. Open inspection door of main pump, right back door. Use supporting rod to secure inspection door. Use a special wrench for filter to remove filter cartridge in counterclockwise manner. Clean up mounting surface of filter bracket base and cartridge. Apply a layer of clean oil to the new filter washer and add new engine oil. Install the new filter. Rotate filter cartridge clockwise until washer is against bracket mounting surface. Be sure that the washer is free of damage during the process of installation. Use a special wrench for filter to rotate the cartridge clockwise for 3/4 or 1 circle. Pay attention not to overfasten. SWE210F excavator. Operation and maintenance manual. Engine fuel system. Warning: do not replace engine lubricant in environments with sand and dust. During the replacement process, be cautious of the potential harm caused by oil splash to the human body. Take proper precautions to prevent oil, fire, and corrosion. Check the fuel gauge on the display screen after the machine is powered on. Draining water and sediment from the fuel tank. Unscrew the drain valve at the bottom of the diesel tank to remove water and sediment. Collect the drain fluid in a container. Once clean diesel fuel starts to flow, tighten the valve, draining the oil-water separator. The oil-water separator is positioned on the main pump chamber. Open the pump chamber access door, the right rear door, and use a supporting rod to secure the inspection door. Loosen the drain valve at the bottom of the oil-water separator to release any accumulated water and impurities until clean diesel fuel flows out. Once done, tighten the drain valve. Notice note: after draining, bleed the air from the fuel system. Replacing oil-water separator. Materials required: fuel pre-filter element, filter element wrench. The oil-water separator is positioned on the main pump chamber. Open the pump chamber access door, the right rear door, and use a supporting rod to secure the inspection door. Place a fuel container under the filter element. Rotate the upper filter element cover with a filter element wrench and remove it. Clean the filter element cover. Apply a layer of clean fuel on the seal surface. Install a new filter element on the filter element base. Tighten the filter cartridge with hands till the seal surface contacts with the one-of filter element base. Fasten 2/3 circle with a filter element wrench. Don't tighten it excessively. After replacing the filter element, power on the machine to exhaust air in the fuel system. Replacing fuel filter element. Materials required: main fuel filter element wrench. The oil-water separator is positioned on the main pump chamber. Open the pump chamber access door, the right rear door, and use a supporting rod to secure the inspection door. Rotate the upper filter element cover with a filter element wrench and remove it. Clean the filter element cover. Apply a layer of clean fuel on the seal surface. Install a new filter element on the filter element base. Tighten the filter cartridge with hands till the seal surface contacts with the one-of filter element base. Fasten 2/3 circle with a filter element wrench. Don't tighten it excessively. Note: after replacing the filter element, power on the machine to exhaust air in the fuel system, checking fuel hoses. Check the fuel hose from the filter element to the engine fuel pump and the banjo bolts for any leaks. Check if the fuel hose interferes with or is worn by other parts. Check whether the cable ties securing the fuel hose are broken, as this could lead to severe hose vibration during operation. Clean outer element of air filter. Tools required: industrial air blower or air pump. If the air filter is clogged, the filter clogged indicator on the monitor will turn red and flash. In this case, the air filter element should be cleaned. Park the machine on level ground and lower the bucket to the ground. Turn off the auto idle switch and run the engine at low idle with no load for 5 minutes. Important: improper engine shutdown procedures may damage the turbocharger. Lower the pilot's safety lever to the lock position and turn the one-touch start switch counterclockwise to the off position. Release the plastic clips and remove the air filter end cap. Clean any debris from the air inlet of the end cap, the internal cavity, and the air inlet. Release the metal latch. Remove the outer filter element using the plastic handle. Gently tap it axially by hand, and never strike the air filter radially against a hard object. Note: reduce the pressure of the compressed air. Ask bystanders to move away to prevent injury from flying debris, and wear personal protective equipment, including goggles. Use compressed air to clean the outer element, blowing from the inside of the element outward along the pleats. Clean the interior of the filter housing. Install the outer element and the end cap, and fasten the clips securely. Start the engine and run it at low idle with no load, and check the air filter clogged indicator on the monitor. If the indicator lights up, shut down the engine immediately and replace the outer element. When replacing the outer element, the inner element should also be replaced. After removing the outer element, the inner element is visible inside the air filter housing. Special reminder: when operating in dusty conditions, follow the steps below. Constantly check the monitor to see if the air filter clogged alarm light turns red and flashes. Clean the air filter promptly, or reduce the cleaning interval for the air filter element. The air filter element can be cleaned up to 6 times. If the air filter element alarm remains red after cleaning, replace the air filter element immediately and do not reuse it. Replace air filter element. Release the plastic clips and remove the air filter end cap. Clean any debris from the air inlet of the end cap, the internal cavity, and the air inlet. Release the metal latch and remove the outer filter element using the plastic handle. Remove the inner element in the same manner. Clean the interior of the filter housing. Install the new inner element, new outer element, and end cap, and fasten the clips securely. The inner air filter element should not be exposed to the operating environment for a long time. Check the sealing performance of connecting pipe between air filter and engine. Check the condition of the connection between the air filter element and the air intake pipe. If a clamp is loose, retighten it or add a new one. Checking the gear oil of the SWE motor reduction gear. Park the machine on level ground. Turn off the auto idle switch and run the engine at low idle with no load for 5 minutes. Important: improper engine shutdown procedures may damage the turbocharger. Lower the pilot safety lever to the lock position and turn the one-touch start switch counterclockwise to the OFF position. Note: when the machine is in operation, the temperature of the gear oil may be high. Therefore, it is necessary to wait for the temperature to drop before inspection. Remove the dipstick from the slewing reducer. Wipe it clean with a non-woven cloth. Reinsert the dipstick and then pull it out again. The oil mark must be between the L and H graduation marks, or at the 2/3 position. If the gear oil is found to be insufficient, unscrew the oil fill port cap, add gear oil, and then check the oil level. Replacing the gear oil of the SWE motor reduction gear. Tools required: 8mm Allen wrench, gear oil. Connect a drain valve above the slewing motor and a hose to the drain valve. Place a drum or pan under the drain hose. Open the drain valve switch and the oil port end cap to increase the oil flow rate, allowing impurities to flow out with the oil. After draining the gear oil, close the drain valve switch. Use an oil can to refill the gear oil. Unscrew the filler port cap. Add gear lubricating oil and then check the oil level. Remove the dipstick from the slewing reducer. Wipe it clean with a cloth. Reinsert the dipstick and then pull it out again. The oil mark must be between the L and H graduation marks, or at the 2/3 position. Checking the gear oil of the travel reducer gear. Tools required: Allen wrench. Park the machine on level ground so that the connecting line between the oil fill port and the drain port of the travel reducer is perpendicular to the horizontal plane. Turn off the auto idle switch and run the engine at low idle with no load for 5 minutes. Prompt: improper engine shutdown procedures may damage the turbocharger. Prompt: when the machine is in operation, the gear oil may be at a high temperature. Therefore, it is necessary to wait for the temperature to drop before slowly loosening the plug of oil fill ports. Note that there may be internal pressure during the operation, and please don't keep your body or face directly in front of the plug. After the gear oil has cooled, slowly loosen the plug of oil fill port to release the pressure. Remove the plugs from oil fill port and inspection port. Observe from inspection port to check if the gear oil level is within 10 mm below the inspection port. If necessary, add gear oil to the oil fill port and then check the oil level. Note: do not perform this operation in an environment with sand, dust, or airborne debris. Reinstall the plugs for oil fill port and inspection port. Follow the same method to check the gear oil level of the travel reducer on the other side. Replacing the gear oil of the travel reducer gear. Tools required: Allen wrench, gear oil, oil pan, oil can. Warning: after the gear oil has cooled, slowly loosen the plug of oil fill port to release the pressure. There may be internal pressure. Ensure that your body and face are not directly facing the plug. Note: do not perform this operation in an environment with sand, dust, or airborne debris. Observe from the inspection port to check if the gear oil level is within 10 mm below inspection port 2. Place a drum or pan under the drain port. Clean external impurities from the oil ports. Remove the plugs from oil fill port 1, inspection port 2, and drain port 3 in sequence. and drain the oil. Check the O-rings on the plugs for damage. If necessary, replace them with new ones. Note: after draining the oil, retighten the plugs. The waste oil must be drained into an oil pan to prevent contamination. Use an oil can to refill the gear oil. Note: do not perform this operation in an environment with sand, dust, or airborne debris. Observe from the inspection port to check if the gear oil level is within 10 millimeters below inspection port 2. Hydraulic oil inspection. Warning: do not run the engine when the hydraulic oil tank is below the minimum level on the dipstick, with the arm cylinder fully retracted and the bucket cylinder fully extended. Lower the bucket to the ground and park the machine on level ground. Open the inspection door of the hydraulic pump room right rear door and check the level gauge on the hydraulic oil tank. The oil level should be between the L and H marks on the gauge or at the 2/3 position. Otherwise, add hydraulic oil of the same type. Tools required: socket wrench, hydraulic oil. Tip: after the engine is shut down, the components in hydraulic oil are still at high temperatures and can cause severe burns. Wait for the temperature to drop before starting maintenance work. The hydraulic oil tank is pressurized, so it is necessary to unscrew the exhaust nut and press the exhaust float rod to release the pressure before opening the oil fill port cap on top of the hydraulic oil tank. Inspect the suction, return, and pilot filter elements. If excessive impurities are found on the surface of the filter element, it can be cleaned under professional guidance. If the filter element is damaged, replace it with a new one. Clean the top of the hydraulic oil tank to prevent dirt from entering the hydraulic system. Press the lock cap to release the pressure inside the tank. Remove the hydraulic oil tank cap. Check whether the hydraulic oil exhibits an unusual color, such as yellow or white, or emits a strong odor. If so, replace the hydraulic oil according to the hydraulic oil replacement procedure. Remove the drain plug from the hydraulic oil tank. Collect a small amount of hydraulic oil in a transparent oil can and inspect it for iron filings or other impurities. If impurities are detected, proceed with the hydraulic oil replacement procedure. Fill with new hydraulic oil until the oil level is within the normal range. Install the hydraulic oil tank cap. Ensure the bolts are fully tightened. Add new hydraulic oil from the return filter element port. Note: do not perform this operation in an environment with sand, dust, or airborne particles. Cooling system maintenance. Check coolant level. Tools required: industrial air blower or air pump. Warning: after the engine is shut down, the coolant is still at a high temperature and the radiator is still under high internal pressure. At this time, do not open the expansion tank cap of the radiator oil fill port and wait for the temperature to drop before slowly turning the expansion tank cap to release the pressure. Lower the pilot safety lever to the lock position and turn the one-touch start switch counterclockwise to the OFF position. The engine start switch light turns red. Open the left inspection door of the machine and observe the coolant level in the expansion tank. The level must be between the L and F marks. If it is below the L mark or above the F mark, add or drain coolant as necessary. If the auxiliary tank is empty, add coolant to the radiator first, and then add coolant to the auxiliary tank. Replace the coolant. Warning: after the engine is shut down, the coolant is still at a high temperature, and the radiator is still under high internal pressure. At this time, do not open the expansion tank cap of the radiator oil fill port, and wait for the temperature to drop before slowly turning the expansion tank cap to release the pressure. Otherwise, there is a risk of scalding. Lower the pilot safety lever to the lock position and turn the one-touch start switch counterclockwise to the OFF position. The engine starts, switch light turns red. Place the other end of the drain hose into a container. Unscrew the drain valve to drain the coolant. After draining the coolant, close the drain valve and add coolant to 5 mm from the radiator top surface. Clean the attachments on the exterior of the radiator. After the machine has been operating for a certain period, the radiator surface will become covered with dust and other debris, which seriously affects the cooling efficiency of the radiator and must be cleaned and cleared in a timely manner. Open the left inspection door, left rear door. Use compressed air or clean water. High pressure is prohibited to clean or wash the radiator. Inspect and adjust the fan belt tension. Important: a belt that is too tight will consume engine power. A belt that is too loose will reduce the rotational speed of the fan blades, resulting in insufficient airflow from the radiator, poor cooling performance, and rapid belt wear. Check the fan belt tension by pressing on the midpoint of the belt between the fan pulley and the alternator pulley. When a pressure of 10 kgf98N is applied, the deflection A must be between 8 and 12 mm. If the tension is not within the specified range, loosen the bolts on the adjusting plate and the alternator bracket, and move the alternator until the tension is within the specified range. Tighten the bolts on the adjusting plate and the alternator bracket. Note: replace the belt if necessary. After installing a new belt, ensure the engine is operated at low idle speed for 3 to 5 minutes. Then, check and adjust the belt tension again to ensure the belt is correctly positioned. Air conditioning system inspection. Compressor belt inspection. At the midpoint between the drive pulley and the compressor pulley, press down with a finger force of approximately 6 kgf58.8N. The normal belt deflection is approximately 5 to 8 mm. If it exceeds 8 mm, it needs to be adjusted or replaced. Clean the air conditioning condenser. Tools required: industrial air blower, brush. Use a brush to clean the attachments on the outer surface of the condenser. Use an industrial air blower to clean dust and deposits from inside the condenser, ensuring the direction is parallel to the condenser fins to avoid damaging the radiator. Note: when using an industrial blower, always use goggles, a dust mask, or other protective equipment to avoid injury. Replace the inner and outer air conditioning filter elements. Tools required: outer air filter, inner air filter, Phillips screwdriver. Remove the bolts from the inspection window at the bottom left rear of the cab and remove the grill plate. Then, press the plastic snap fit latch to remove the inner air filter element. Then install the new internal air filter element. Use the key to open the air exchange door on the interior and exterior of the cab. Then, remove the outer air filter element. Replace with a new external air filter element.